Hello, Mgtow. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about the great test. The great test for the individual man and the great test for the civilization. And today's video comes to us from a donation from Lon Bliss. And here's what he has to say. Howard, I sent you a donation. My name is Lon Bliss. I would like to request a possible video. The feminist movement is actually one giant shit test. Think about it. Look at the Woman's March. We are not to objectify them, but they dress as a giant vagina. Very irrational. No one knows how to deal with it, except to just put them back in their place. This is the same behavior when women shit test men. They are irrational, and it throws us back because they are not making logical sense. This is being done on a giant scale. Okay, that's a great question. Thanks for the donation. You know, you're absolutely right. And it's even more than that. But I'm glad that you're able to recognize that these are not legitimate concerns. You know, we could just as well refer to this as, the girl who cried wolf. But it's much more than just a shit test. The idea that the woman's going to demand some unreasonable, irrational behavior from the man around her in order to test if he really loves her. And, she'll say things like, if you really love me, you'll do da-da-da-da-da. So let me ask you guys a question. Do you love women? I know you do, right? Do you love really attractive women? I know you do. Do you want to be really successful in life so that you can acquire resources, so that you can get together with women? I know you do. Are you willing to do anything for her? I know that many of you are. Throughout all of history, we have countless stories of female nature. Helen of Troy, Adam and Eve, Cleopatra, Lady Macbeth, Delilah. Every culture has stories of the destructive aspect of female nature, or what can happen to the man under the influence of the evil aspect of female nature, the unrestrained aspect of female nature. A strong argument could be made that the destruction of the advanced civilizations in the past has been due to feminism, to the idea of a dependent class and their maintenance being the purpose and the function of the society and the civilization. And I hate to keep coming back to this, but it's a fundamental point, because as you build the civilization on the character traits of very strong and capable and very rational and logical men, you then develop a portion of dependence. And what they're going to try to do, and what they try to do, and what they do, is they invert the values of the civilization. They say the most important thing is not to be competitive and to be successful and to dominate over others, because that way the best will rise to the top and, you'll be successful. You'll be forced to be successful. No, they say the best thing to do is to take care of the sick, the weak, and the needy, and those who can't take care of themselves. And if you are a good human being, that's what you'll do. So it's a shit test. It's this inversion of virtue. And if you don't go along with it, they withhold their affection. They withhold their approval. Okay, so when the woman is saying, you'll take me out on this expensive dinner, or I'm not going to be nice to you, and she knows that the man can't afford to take her out to the dinner, and she knows that there will be no future with the man if he doesn't have enough money, but she doesn't care. She just wants to be taken out on the nice dinner, okay? That's the shit test. And if the man takes her out, and does what she wants, she doesn't have more respect for him. She doesn't, have more affection for him. She has less. This is how children manipulate adults and other people, and if you go along with it, you deserve what you get. So the other side of this argument would be, isn't there some legitimate reasons for feminism and for women's rights and the concerns that they raise? And sure, you know what I mean? Of course, why not? Why not? But we're not dealing with those, and it's instead being used as a club to strike men over the heads with, and to dominate society. But let's go into this a little deeper, because it actually reveals the character of the individual man, right? These were the questions I was asking you before, right? Will you do anything for her? Will you die for her? Will you sacrifice everything for her? Well, what if she's, an immoral whore who just wants resources? And I'm not saying all women are like that, but, it's real easy for a woman to kind of like flip that switch in a relationship with a man and go from that nurturing, kind of motherly, loving, affectionate person to just, this tyrannical, destructive, evil bitch, and once that switch flips, there's no moral protections for the man or anything like that, right? So what we're looking at is a character test of the man. That's what the shit test is. It's saying, will you stand up and say no to the attractive woman that you want to have sex with because you know it's the right thing to do? So it's a character test. And if you love her and you'll do anything for her, guess what? You fail the test. But isn't that what a real man is supposed to do? Anything for the woman? This is why we have the stories throughout our culture of the man's attraction and affection and willingness to serve the woman leads to his destruction. And right now, it's leading to the destruction of Western civilization. And it is a battle with female nature, and even the female nature within the men themselves. Because not only do the men, love the attractive women, and not only will they do anything for them, and not only is that the measure of their manhood, okay, but these values, they extend out to other aspects of life. In other words, the person becomes a glutton. They want to eat as much food as possible. They want to work as little as possible. They want to have as much stuff as possible. They want to take it as easy as possible. I intentionally make things difficult on myself, right? Because I know that if it's too easy for me, that I'll just become fat, soft, and weak. I don't give myself everything that I want. If I did that, I know what would happen. I've done it before in my life. It doesn't work. And now you're dealing with a woman. Now the man is dealing with a woman. And she's testing his character. She's getting together with him because he's, a strong, capable, worthy man. But then she starts to ferret out the weakness of his character. Will you compromise? Will you betray your principles to win my affection, the woman says, to stop me from pitching a fit? See, she can't deal with the world the way a man can deal with the world. Many men can't deal with the world the way a man should deal with the world. It's very difficult. A young man is, that's what he's learning. So these are the manipulations that women and children play. And we're seeing it on a large scale. On a societal scale. That's why we refer to them as, these special little snowflakes, these little children that are pitching fit, that want trigger warnings, that want safe spaces, that want to give, puppies hugs. And if you give into it and you indulge it, it can destroy you as an individual. It'll make you soft. It'll make you weak. And if you indulge it as a society and a civilization, you end up incentivizing and entitling the worst aspects of human nature. Female nature is not supposed to be indulged and glorified. Women seek material comfort. Women seek security. Women won't fight to the death. Women won't stand on principle. They can't. They have to, look after their kids. It's a biological thing. Men will fight to the death on principle. And so when the man gets together with the attractive woman, it's just all that much easier for her to compromise his character, for him to compromise his own character. And don't you see men walking around like they have no self-respect? I'll tell you, one of the most terrible things to see is for a really young man to be carrying around kids and to have a big fat slob of a wife, that's like a couple of notches below him on sexual market value. And she's talking on the cell phone, and he's carrying the kids, carrying her purse, going to the store to run the household chores. And that she can bust his balls at any moment, and that if you asked him, what's the measure of being a man? He'd say, getting married and having kids, right? And she's going to take him for everything he has, and it's going to destroy him and rip him to pieces. And he's been conditioned to say he loves women, he'll do anything for her, and if you question him at all, he'll say, what are you, gay? So yeah, it's a big, giant shit test. And you're going to need to be strong enough to stand up, to your own weaknesses as a man in dealing with women, because they'll just exploit men. That's all. They don't really think much of men. And if you play this game down at that level, you won't be able to think much of yourself. Man is capable of great things, right? But not if he's chasing pussy. Not if he's just a pussy hound. Not if he's a pickup artist. I don't know. Some of them, though, are pretty successful, right? Like they write books and things like that, and they're having, a strong influence on the world, kind of like breaking the illusion of, the princess, of the little princess that's supposed to be worshipped. So there's a lot of good aspects to, pickup artistry, game and things like that, because it takes the women off the pedestal. So that's what we have to do here. Men have to start recognizing female nature for what it is. And it's not the equal of male nature, right? But the young man doesn't develop, that male nature. It takes a long time and a lot of hard work and a lot of really difficult experience, I think, for many. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think I've given you guys a lot to think about. I think I've brought up some good aspects of this subject. And let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, Mgtow.